What's up, y'all? Back for the 299 recap. Let's go. I got 195 views on my last video. Let's go. I went from 36 being the highest to 195, baby. All right. Moving on. I made some notes about this. I was serious. I could watch the whole fight. I got off work. I could watch all the fights through. I'm so happy. All right. The Joanne Calderwood fight. Who cares? But she won, right? All right, moving on. Asu's pretty good. It's pretty good, but he's boring. Okay, he tried to be flashy, but him and Vergara were low. It's just a low class fight. Okay, but he's good. He'll probably beat some people out of the rankings. That's all I could really say. Okay, the Despain fight was obvious. We all knew how that was gonna go. We all knew how that was gonna go. There was like 5 people who trained with Josh Parisi and that probably didn't pick him. Um, don't know why they made that fight. I guess it's a debut. You want to debut, but MVP debuted against Kevin Holland. So, I don't know. Despain needs to fight someone in the top 15 immediately. Or Shamil. He can fight Shamil. He can fight Jarzinho. You need actually make that matchup right now. Make one of those matchups right now. Um, Make him versus Shamil. I would like to see that fight. That would be very interesting. I think that's a perfect fight to make. You could even make that a main event now, after Shamil's lost, because he's got a name now. Everyone knows who Shamil is now, and Despain is gonna be well known as well. Michel Pereira looked humongous. This man looked huge at 185. Like he literally like almost doubled the size of McCall. Like almost doubled him. Like he looked like a 185er facing a lightweight. I don't know many people who could beat him at middleweight. I don't know why he didn't move to middleweight sooner. Most welterweights need to move to middleweight. If that weight cut's even slightly hard for you, move to middleweight. You're going to be a champ. Moving on to the actual prelims. I didn't think I was going to have to talk about this fight this soon. Oh, I don't. I have to talk about the Lens fight. Sorry. Lens got pretty good leg kicks. He was kind of tagging Eon there. I know I said Eon, but man, neither of them are high level. Eon's very tough, which makes his other finishes look crazy. Because how did Lens not finish him? Lens looked like he was in danger at some of them, but his cardio looked improved. Uh, I think this weight class is just better for him. So, I mean, that's really all I have to say. That fight was fun, but it's like sometimes these fights are like it's just such a fun fight, but like it doesn't even look like people are getting hurt. It looks, I don't know, like it looked like they were throwing heat the whole time, but it didn't look like the finish was coming, if you know what I'm saying. But Felipe Lens should never go back to heavyweight. Light heavyweight was always his weight class. His cardio is better for moving down, which is weird. I guess he just cut off some of the fat. Um, just maybe he has higher cardio sessions now. Who knows? I really don't want to talk about this fight, okay? But I got to. I talked big game for this, and you know, uh, what was Pedro doing? I mean, at least Cheeto tried, okay? At least Cheeto was like, let's just see what if I can land a shot. Pedro looked like he didn't want to land a shot. I don't know. And he threw maybe 10 leg kicks, maybe 12 leg kicks the whole fight. Terrible, terrible. Whoever was coaching, Pedro Munoz, terrible coach. Unless they were telling him the whole time to like move in, box on the inside. Because he was landing. Every time he'd get on the inside, he would land. And if he finished his combinations with the kick, he would land the kick. Terrible performance from Pedro. Worst performance I've ever seen. he looked so shy, so, like gun shy. Just looked scared, which might be a credit to Kyler Phillips. His distance control, his movement, because Pedro didn't even look like that against the little bit we got of Sean, right? Kyler also eye poked him, so maybe it's just a MMA lab thing to eye poke Pedro Munoz. Maybe that's what I was seeing, not the leg kick. Terrible performance by Pedro Munoz. Very disappointing. Very sad. Don't know. I mean, Pedro's still good. He's still good. He's a good fighter. Kyler looked pretty good though. So, but we'll have to see. It was just a disappointing performance. But it is what it is. You know, can't do too much about it. Moving on to the Gamrot fight. Gamrot got rocked. He kind of is Colby Covington, but at lightweight. I feel like that's not talked about enough. He's kind of Colby Covington at lightweight. Cause he got rocked so bad and just recovered like nothing happened. Wild. I really was very concerned for Gamrot in that first round, even going into the second, but he just is always there. He's just gonna be there for at least 15 minutes. At least. He could go a hard 15 minutes, that's for sure. Not much else to say. He's a boring fighter. No one likes Gamrot besides people who know him. Moving on to Macy Barber. Macy Barber also kind of got rocked, and that was making me nervous. But that sprawl was nasty. Oh my gosh, that might have been the best sprawl ever. Like, coaches will tell you, like, throw your hips to the mat. Try to throw them to the mat. Like, she just did that. I thought she knocked her out with the sprawl, I'm not going to lie. Like, I was sitting there like, whoa, how do you get knocked out by a sprawl? Crazy. Yeah, that was a crazy sprawl. I'm glad Curtis beat Gilton. I didn't think he would. I predicted Gilton for this fight. I was, I was, um, sorry, I was counting how many I got right. It doesn't matter. I'm very glad Curtis beat Gilton. I was picking Gilton, but he's just, man, that was so stupid. He just sat there and let himself get KO'd. Like, that was so stupid of him. That was one of the dumbest in-fight moments I've ever seen in my life. Like that. I mean, that was very similar to I can't even remember his name. Paul Craig. When Paul Craig was just grabbing Johnny Walker's leg, that was a similar performance. Stupid. Like, just didn't move at all. Got hammer fisted. If you get hammer fist 3 times and you're like, oh, this is hurting, move. Don't just get KO'd, bro. Anyways, Gilton won't do that again. I'll pick him to win his next fight. Moving on. I thought Piotr won. I personally thought he won. There's no way that I thought he was gonna get the win though. Second round looked like it could have gone either way. Third round was definitely Jan's. First round was definitely Song's. Called it almost perfectly, 29-28. Yeah, I mean, Song looked good. His boxing was very good, you know? And Piotr's boxing held up. He didn't have to take him down till the third round, which is pretty surprising. Song took Piotr down, which was very surprising. I feel like that's not going to be talked about enough, that Song took Piotr down, but it is what it is. Moving on to Jack, baby. Jack looked stupid still. Jack is still, he's still just went into the grappling with Gilbert. Gilbert almost snatched up a decision, stinky decision, almost snatched it up. But that knee was the best knee I've ever seen in my life. I'm sorry. Sorry to Jorge Masvidal. Best knee I've ever seen in my life. Perfectly timed. Stood up. Was like, this dude's about to take me down instantly. Knew, just boom. Straight on the money. Like, perfect. Sean O'Malley landed a similar style knee. Wasn't from a takedown. Wasn't like the thought, but really good knee from Sean O'Malley. But man, that Jack knee was crazy. Perfectly timed. Perfectly placed. Perfectly landed. I mean, I saw this coming though. I'm surprised that Gilbert survived so long. Truly, that's what I'm most surprised about. That Gilbert survived so long. But yeah, Gilbert looked better than I thought he would against Jack. Jack made me a little nervous in that fight, but he looked like he was trying to be Nick Diaz. That's the biggest thing I took away from this fight, is that he looked like he was trying to be Nick Diaz, and he did a pretty good job of doing it. He threw way less power than he normally does. Way less. And Sean did a similar thing, and I think this might just be the best style to strike in MMA. Just throw light little pitter-pat shots, boom, 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 light little pitter-pat shots. He struck with Cheeto for 5 rounds. There was no one predicting that Sean O'Malley was going to be able to stand 4 or 5 rounds and strike with Cheeto. No one was predicting that, okay? No one. No one was predicting that. Everyone was saying it's going to be a second round KO by Sean O'Malley, a third round KO by Sean O'Malley. No one was saying that he was going to outstrike him for 5 rounds. Cheeto looked gassed. I've never seen Cheeto look like that. Sean O'Malley looked like he was like in a sparring session. Like, he didn't look like he was in a fight. He looked like he was going to be sparring for another 30 minutes. Like, this was like an hour sparring session for him. Crazy look for Sean O'Malley. That Ilya Taporia fight's 10 times more interesting now. 10 times more. If he would have KO'd Cheeto, I honestly think that Ilya fight would have been a little less interesting. And the Merab fight would have been a little more interesting. Weirdly enough. But man, striking like that for 5 rounds with Cheeto is crazy. It's just crazy. Sorry, I'm going to talk about MVP. I'll get to Sean in a second. I'm going to talk about MVP. He is so fast, and he's completely untouchable. I don't think anyone in welterweight's going to be able to touch him. I don't think Leon's going to be able to touch him. I think him versus Leon, if that fight were to happen a week from now, I think he beats Leon. 10 times out of 10, honestly. Now, Shavkat's beating him. Kamaru would beat him. I really want to see him versus Jack. Number 1 contenders fight, him versus Jack. That would be my perfect world, right? Bilal versus Shavkat, number 1 contenders fight. And then Jack versus MVP, number 1 contenders fight. I was watching the Lucas Tracy video, and he's talking about fighting with Adesanya or with Robert Whittaker, Wonderboy. All those fights are good options. I agree that I didn't think about him moving up to middleweight, but I agree those fights could be fun. They're not going to make those fights. They're just not. If MVP beats Israel Adesanya, the UFC's like gonna freak out. They're not gonna make that fight. They're probably not gonna make the Wonderboy fight because Wonderboy's too much of a staple for, especially when it comes to striking. Seeing him get KO'd by MVP or seeing him get like outclassed like he did to Kevin Holland, because he looked way better. Kevin Holland looked 10 times better against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, which is crazy. So I also think Kevin should retire soon. He's not looking for the belt. He couldn't do anything against MVP, even in the grappling. I think he should retire soon. Maybe have 1 or 2 more fun fights against low-level competition he could probably beat. It's sad to say. Kevin Holland was one of my favorite fighters like 2 or 3 years ago. He's very entertaining. He's still one of my favorite fighters, but I don't know if it's the work ethic thing. I don't know him personally, but he doesn't want to be champ, and I don't think he shows up in the gym. I don't think he shows up. I think he's just content. I think he hits pads probably. He hits pads, he hits the bag. I think he's just content where he is. He might train some wrestling, who knows. Anyways, Dustin keeps the dream alive, baby. Did not think Dustin was gonna win. Coming in though, with the weigh-in, he looked like the best Dustin I've seen in a minute. I still didn't think the best Dustin I've seen in a minute could beat Benoit, because I thought Benoit was truly, like, not untouchable, but like unhurtable. I know he got hurt in that fight. I'm not even gonna look who it was against, but I know he got hurt in that fight. But it's like, I don't know. That was so long ago. I think that was in like 2020. But Dustin KOs him clean, like out cold KO. Didn't expect that. Hard fight to predict. I think I got 4 fights, 5 fights wrong, but that's not awful. That's not awful for this card. A lot of underdog victories. Curtis beating Jailton. Most people didn't predict that. I did say though, if Curtis were to beat Jailton, it would be getting caught. I didn't think it was going to be caught while the dude was sniffing his crotch, but it is what it is. Dustin looked good, and I see Lucas Tracy being like, "Oh, the staff." MMA Guru might have said it too, but they're saying like, "Oh, the staff. He was so gassed in round 2." So was Dustin, bro. Dustin might have been more gassed than Benoit. Why is that not being talked about? They were both gassed. Did Lucas not see the pace that was being set? Like, I agreed with him on the MVP thing. I don't think they're gonna make those fights, and I think JDM's the best matchup for him. But did you see the pace, bro? Please come wrestle with me like that for 3 minutes, bro. You will be gassed. And I know you're not a fighter. I know they're fighters, but they're still humans, bro. Did you not see that pace? That pace was crazy. They were both putting on a Marab pace. No one's Marab, okay? That's what happened. They both got gassed out, okay? The staff, maybe Benoit has a better gas tank. Maybe the staff did infect it, or affect his gas tank. Who knows? But they both look gassed. That was a crazy pace they were putting on. If Benoit didn't look gassed after that, he's on roids, okay? Moving on. Sean is the bantamweight GOAT currently. He's currently the bantamweight GOAT. He just got his bantamweight GOAT title. I don't think we have to wait to do that. Who's the bantamweight GOAT? It's either him or Aljo, and Aljo has fraud victories. I love Aljo. I like Aljo more than I like him around the same. But still, I like Aljo, but he has fraud victories, and I was claiming he was the bantamweight GOAT before, and if you beat Sean O'Malley, he would be the bantamweight GOAT probably for a long time, if not for forever. He has fraud victories. He beat TJ Dillashaw after 3 years off with a broken rotator cuff, and after losing to Corey Sandhagen. Whoever thinks TJ won the fight against Corey Sandhagen is insane. Is insane. He lost to Corey Sandhagen. He lost. Crazy. Crazy that they gave him that matchup. Piotr Jan could have beat Aljo the second fight. Don't think he did, but he could have. And then his win against Henry Cejudo. I mean, Henry's not that good. I mean, Henry's good, but he's just not in the same class as Aljo, in the same class as Sean. It's just the future of MMA. Henry's still kind of stuck in the 2016, 2015, the 2010s MMA. We're in the 2020s now. Yeah. Sean's the current bantamweight GOAT. I don't think that should be contested. I'm not the biggest Sean O'Malley fan. I do like him. I did think he was going to be champ, but I did want to take the belt from him, to be honest, but I don't think he's going to be in bantamweight for much longer. I think we maybe get the Marab matchup if we're lucky. I don't think we're going to get the Marab matchup. And I don't think Marab... before this fight, I really thought Marab had a 90% chance to beat him. Now it's close to a 10, honestly, but I could still see myself picking Marab. The fight would need to be closer, the fight would need to be made. Ilya Taporia versus Sean O'Malley is a very interesting matchup. I don't think Sean wins that matchup. I really don't. Unless Just Ilya cannot touch him at all and can't even grab him. But Ilya's so dangerous boxing. I don't see a way that he couldn't get a takedown. And that's the thing, is like, if Ilya's striking doesn't work with Sean, if Sean's just too big, too long, too out of range for Ilya, he has that other option of being a BJJ black belt. And I know Sean's pretty good at grappling, don't get me wrong. But Sean's not going to submit Bryce Mitchell. He's just not going to submit Bryce Mitchell. And no, Sean would definitely beat Bryce Mitchell, don't get me wrong. If they had an MMA fight, Sean would beat Bryce Mitchell and it probably wouldn't go to the ground. But Sean would not be able to submit Bryce Mitchell or pancake him or do anything much to him on the ground. So if that Ilya versus Sean fight happens, I would pick Ilya. If the Merab versus Sean fight happens, I would pick Merab, I think. But Sean has way more of a chance to beat Merab than he does to beat Ilya. And honestly, I don't think Merab has a high chance to beat Sean. I just think he's gonna find that 10%. Like, Sean beats Merab 9 out of 10 times, but I think that one night that they fight is gonna be that 10th time. And I know that's kind of a coping argument, but that's just really what I see. I think Sean really does beat Merab 9 out of 10 times. He finds that shot 9 out of 10 times. But I think the night that they fight, if they do fight, I don't know. I feel like Merab is just destined to have the UFC bantamweight gold. Now, if this fight doesn't happen and if Sean moves up to fight Ilya and he beats Ilya, and let's say he stays at featherweight, then they'll probably do a undisputed fight between Merab and Corey, which is a great fight. And I think Corey has way more of a chance against Merab than Sean does. And Sean has way more of a chance against Merab than Merab does against Sean. But I really think Merab has like a 1% chance to beat Corey. I just think that matchup is so terrible for him. Corey's pacing's pretty good. Sean's cardio looks super good now, though, in hindsight. The Cheeto performances versus him and Corey. But Corey was wrestling with Cheeto a lot. And Cheeto was kind of just letting Corey wrestle with him. Like, which is kind of a weird thing to say, I guess, but Cheeto was just kind of like letting Corey wrestle with him. Not really letting him, but like not letting him take him down. But once Corey did take him down, he would just kind of sit on his back and breathe, which I think really helped him with the cardio. I think I overestimated Cheeto's cardio way too much. I think the reason I did that is because I thought there was, I don't know. I guess he used more energy grappling than he does striking, but obviously he does not. Man, Sean is a sniper. That's what I've got most from this, is that MVP. The things that I've taken away from this is that Sean, MVP, and Kyler Phillips were underrated coming into this. Kyler Phillips was the favorite, so maybe he wasn't underrated. Maybe I was just blindsided by Pedro Munoz being an underdog against Kyler Phillips. But he's better than I thought. His distance control is really good. His leg kicks are really good. Kyler Phillips I'm talking about. MVP I knew was really good. You just don't know, you know? You see him coming off 2 losses, I think, in Bellator. It could have been 1. Coming off a KO loss in Bellator at least. So let's just leave it at that. A KO loss in Bellator and losing to why am I forgetting his name? Mike Perry in BKFC. It's just hard to confidently pick. It's hard to confidently pick someone after that, but he's so fast, man. He is so fast. No, the only reason he got caught in Bellator is because he was getting off his knees. No one's going to beat him in striking. MVP might be the best striker. Sean O'Malley might be the best striker in the UFC. It's between them two, honestly. They're so good. I really do think MVP might be the best, though. That's why that Wonderboy matchup is so, good. I think JDM is the best boxer, though, so that would just be my preferred matchup would be JDM versus MVP. But yeah, I really want to see MVP versus JDM. I really want to see Piotr versus Cheeto Vera. I think that would be a great fight. Um, Not a number one contenders fight, but maybe a step to the number one contenders fight them, and then maybe the winner of Corey Sandhagen Umar. I really don't want Corey to take that fight. I think he's gonna beat Umar, but I just don't want him to take it. I think he's 33. I think he's 33. He's 31. Oh, okay. He's younger than I thought, to be honest. He's 31. He could take the Umar fight. Beat Umar. Beat winner Piotr Jan versus Cheeto Vera. Finally get his title shot against Merab. Because, let's be honest, it doesn't seem like Sean O'Malley wants to stay in bantamweight. Which is fine. Let him move. I don't know why people are so strict about these divisions. Like, the only interesting matchup for me right now in bantamweight is him versus Corey, and that's not going to happen. The UFC does not like Corey for some reason. Even though he is he's probably one of the hardcore's favorites. But it is what it is. I don't know. That's all I was really trying to say. That was a crazy card. Wild card. A lot of underdog wins. But yeah. Oh, another thing is Michelle Pereira's body kicks and the submission just reminded me a lot of Benoit against Ishmael Bonfim. So I just thought that was funny. I had that in my notes. I just wanted to say that before I go. But yeah, y'all have a wonderful rest of y'all Sunday. Whenever you are watching this, Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. All right, y'all have a good night. Peace out.